Everybody's doing it. It keeps on going up. Why would it go down? Well, you get to the point where it's just too damn high. Just because it's down 80 or 90% doesn't mean it's mispriced today. It may mean that it was mispriced last year. And with a lot of this, that's what it was. The money was so easy. It was so available that prices went too high.
So it's not cheap yet. You're saying crypto's not cheap yet. You want to see it cheaper before Mark's piling back in.
Yeah, it's not cheap yet. First of all, look at the stock market. It's gotten, tech stocks in particular, high growth tech stocks have gotten torched even worse than crypto, right? Yep. I got tech stocks worth down a whole lot more than my Ethereum or my Bitcoin or my Polygon, right? They just gotten torched. Why is that? Because it went too high. When interest rates are basically negative and you can get as much capital as you need, or some people can get as much capital as they need to go out and buy stocks thinking they're going to go up. Why wouldn't they? You're borrowing at, let's say 1%. And do you believe stocks will go up 1%? Sure. So yeah, it was $50 a year ago, but it's $300 today. So what? Everybody's doing it. It keeps on going up. Why would it go down? Well, you get to the point where it's just too damn high. Just because it's down 80 or 90% doesn't mean it's mispriced today. It may mean that it was mispriced last year. And with a lot of this, that's what it was. The money was so easy. It was so available that prices went too high. And it may well be that even though we're down, enormously, that we're in the right place in terms of pricing and we're finding the right place. And the problem isn't now. The problem was last year in the easy money. And so to your point, in terms of inflation, I don't necessarily think, well, first, when you talk about inflation with crypto, I always have to remember, there's two worlds of inflation with crypto. Right. There's the real world and there's the Bitcoin maxi world. The inflation rate was not quite as bad now, but the unemployment rate was more than 10% and this and that. And so it was a struggle, just like people are struggling now. Crypto isn't impacted any more or less than anything else. And it's not going to change what people do any more or less, right? Now, I'll say that if interest rates keep on going up and that's translated into savings accounts that, and all of a sudden you can get a 6-month CD for 4, 5, 6% or something tax-free for 4, 5, 6%, that's going to impact people's decisions because you go from, okay, I might be able to make some money in crypto last year and I can make my 10% on my USDC last year, right? And that seemed to be relatively safe where I'm willing to take more risk to, hey, I don't have to fuck around and I can make 5% on this CD. That will impact the money that comes into crypto and stocks for that matter. Then there's the Bitcoin maxi side of it. With the Bitcoin, Bitcoin, that's a hedge against inflation. Yeah, I don't see that working. I always analogize Bitcoin as it's a better version of gold. It's a digital version of gold, and I truly believe that. And all the gold maxis think it's a hedge to inflation. Yeah, not so much. If that were the case, gold wouldn't be wherever 17,000, 18,000, wherever it's at, it would be 30,000, And so there was a lot of hope that Bitcoin would do this or that. Now, where Bitcoin and gold do offer a hedge is in countries that are not reserve currencies, because the world uses the dollar. If you're in pick a country, right? Zumunda, right? And they have hyperinflation. Owning Bitcoin or gold is much better because it's going to fluctuate relative to the dollar or let's say the euro, and it's going to be stable and it's going to look like a really good hedge against that Zumundo currency. But then so would the dollar, I think the Bitcoin maxis got it dead wrong. And I think part of the challenge for Bitcoin is, even with the Lightning Network improving and becoming more popular, there's not enough utility, but that's the same problem gold has. Nobody needs gold jewelry. People like gold jewelry and want it, but they don't need it. And so there's a utility issue with Bitcoin. But that said, like gold, it's a good store of value. It's a better store of value when you're trying to be diverse in your portfolio. And that's why I own it, because I think I have no idea where it'll go. I have no idea how low it'll go. But I do know that once there are applications with smart contracts, not on Bitcoin, but across crypto that regular people use and figure out, just like streaming was a better version of getting audio and video than traditional media was, when there's better reason to use crypto applications, that's when it takes off.
What do you like better, Mark? ETH or Bitcoin?
If I had to buy one today for a month, I'd probably buy Bitcoin because there's not that push of applications right now. I'm trying to invest. If you got one that, is a business application that replaces not just fintech, but let's just say something you do in the office. Here's the way we've been doing it. I use this app all the time and, it has nothing to do with fintech. It has nothing to do with collectibles. This is just, I'm using smart contracts on Ethereum or whatever blockchain, and it's made my life a lot more efficient and a lot better. When those start to happen, whichever blockchain they're on, on, bam, right? Then people start saying, oh, I got to use, it's just like, my 13-year-old wants Snapchat. Bam, I got to have Snapchat. Got to have, when I turn 13, I got to have Snapchat, or I got to have Instagram or whatever it is, TikTok. What made people download TikTok? Why does every kid use TikTok? It doesn't have to be social media. And I think it'll come from business first, but we need that business application, the decentralized version of QuickBooks, decentralized version of whatever that is a crypto app that is just better. And when that happens, boom, because then people will start saying, well, if it worked I replaced DocuSign as an example, or I've got QuickBooks, decentralized QuickBooks, which allows me to buy or sell, or e-commerce. Like I did this talk at the University of Chicago, and I only, and these are MBA students, and I was like, how many of you have used crypto? And about half had. I'm like, how many of you have used a crypto wallet to buy something? And about half to half did, or core of the people. And I'm like, of those of you who did, wouldn't it be a lot easier if you could just go to an e-commerce site, connect your wallet, buy what you want, click it, sign it, and have a lower transaction fee, and it's just paid like that? And if you were a vendor, wouldn't it be easier to just sell, knowing because you get that cash immediately, and so you could probably sell for less with less friction? Yeah, of course, but nobody's done that yet.
Yeah, how long do you think this bear market will last then? And
so,
is this going to be a long dark winter?
No, it lasts until there's a catalyst, and that catalyst is going to be an application, or we get so low, people go, fuck it, I'll buy some.
I'm almost there. Are you there?
It's like stocks, right? I look at stocks and I'll look at the market cap. I'm like, is Amazon, I own a bunch of Amazon, but should I buy more Amazon? It's $1 trillion market cap. That's not a fucking price, right? There's some other companies where you look at it and they're like, it's a $250 market cap plus some debt now because they borrow cheap. I'm like, if this were coming public, if this were being pitched to me as a private company at this valuation on Shark Tank, would I invest in it? And if the answer is yes, I'll buy it, right? And if you think back, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Matic, ICP, any of them, or even the new ones like Ape, and you look at the market caps and you see it's $1 billion plus market cap, or 6 billion or 8 billion or 40 billion, you don't look at that and go, that's cheap. Because if you remember back to, DeFi summer, these things were selling for less than a penny and their market caps were in the hundreds of millions. And then you look at some things like ALCX, and you look at, what are some of the others that are DeFi, Uniswap or SushiSwap rather. And even Uniswap, particularly SushiSwap, has got like a $250 million market. And then you look to say, why is that relatively cheap, right? Compared to everything else? Well, because there's no utility there. You get paid it if you're an LP, then what? Who's going to buy it from you? What's the reason to buy it from? And so what happens is, it's not so much about the builders yet, but what happens is you'll see a consolidation. You'll see somebody whose market cap, if Cardano, everybody likes to pick on them, including me, but like they could use what market cap they have or what cash they have and start making acquisitions. But
so it's not cheap yet. You're saying crypto's not cheap yet. You want to see it cheaper before Mark's piling back in.
Yeah, it's not cheap yet. And I think, I'd rather get with somebody who says, okay, let's do a roll-up. Let's combine a bunch of these who really don't have, you take Zilqua, you take this, you take that, and you match them all up together, and you do a token exchange to a new token. You close 4 out of the 5 blockchains, and you pick whichever one you think is best or has the best applications. You allow people to bridge over one time, and now all of a sudden your user base is 10x. Now you still have a problem of better applications, right? You still have to have some reason that people want to use that blockchain, but at least you may be able to have a better community to come up with ideas.